Coming to the module 6, second point, peer feedback and self-assessment rubrics. Now we are going to talk about what it means. In the last slides, we talked about how we need to fix a problem. If a problem arises, how we need to update it, how we need to mention our problem, what all parameters need to be covered in the same, how can we analyze it so that we don't lose on clientele, how a reoccurring problem can be fixed, with what parameters can be taken care of. Now we are talking about what it means, peer feedback and self-assessment rubrica. We are going to talk about this. In any professional environment, communication doesn't end once you have written an email or given a presentation. It improves with feedback. Feedback allows us to grow and refine our skills, whether it's a peer giving you tips on your tone or you evaluating yourself using a structured rubric. These reflections help you improve fast. This module focuses on how to give and receive feedback using rubrics and how to use those insights to get better at writing, speaking, and presenting at work. Now, what does this mean? Any professional environment needs communication. This is a guideline and this is true as well. Why? Any professional environment, if a communication process is not proper, is not through, then it's not going to work out. Once you have written an email or given a presentation, it improves your feedback. Definitely is that, because you get feedback from others. Feedback allows us to grow. When we get feedback, we work on it, we improve and we grow. It refines our skills automatically. Yes, it does. Whether it's a peer giving you tips or your tone, or you're evaluating yourself using a structured rubric, these reflections help us improve fast. This module focuses on how to give and receive feedback using rubrics and how to use those insights to get better at writing, speaking, and presenting at work. Now we are going to talk about sample criteria of rubrics. Clarity. Is your message understandable? Structure. Does it follow a logical flow? Tone and voice. Is the tone appropriate for the content? Delivery. Are your verbal cues and pacing clear? Confidence. Is your body language and voice steady? Now, talking about the sample criteria, the first thing which we are going to talk about today is clarity. Is your message understandable? We have been previously also talking about these particular things, where we have clearly mentioned that it's very important for us to understand that we need to be understood. Unless and until we are understood, we are not going to get any feedback. We are going to be misunderstood. Our work is going to get hampered. We are not going to meet our deadlines. Any XYZ things are going to happen with this deficiency of not having a clarity. So having clarity on everything is very important. Structure. Does it follow a logical flow? Is it logically focused, planned? Tone and voice. Is the tone appropriate for the context? Delivery. Are your verbal cues and pacing clear? Confidence. Is your body language and voice steady? Body language plays a very important role in your communication. Your verbal communication and your body language should match. If what you are saying is not matching to your body language, then your communication is not proper. Then your communication is in a fix. Then your communication is not true. Then you will be misunderstood. Then you would not be understood properly. So we need to understand that our body language and our verbal communication should be intact. Your email was clear and conscious, but the tone could be warmer, considering soft phrases like you must to or you could please. Now, this is an example for your peer review comment. Your email was clear and conscious, but the tone could be warmer. Your tone, see, there is a tone in writing also. There's not a tone in speaking only, there's a tone in writing also. Your words should match what you think. Your words should not be harsh. There is a choice of words also. We need to understand that choice of words also, because it is very important to understand the choice of words. If we do not understand the choice of words, we would not be in a right position to emphasize, to talk properly, to talk meaningful, to talk with warmth. Same is the case over here in the example mentioned in peer review comment. The mail was okay, it was cautious, the detailing was perfect, but your voice was not warmer. Your words were not warmer. You should have written you must or could you please. That would give a sense of appreciation, understanding. Could you please? When you write please somewhere, it is like you are not ordering, you are requesting. There is difference between ordering and requesting. Requesting means you are putting yourself in such a phase where you are asking for a bit of help. Clear? First, what does it mean? In an professional environment, communication doesn't end once you have written an email or given a presentation. It improves with feedback. It is very obvious. It is very obvious. Anything you speak, you talk, you mime, you act, feedback is important. And once you get that feedback, your communication completes. Your communication is incomplete unless and until you get the feedback, and it improves at the same time. If you are really interested in improving it, it will automatically improve, because definitely in the next time you are going to take care of those parameters which were not covered in a proper manner in the last phase. You will try to cover them in this phase. Feedback allows us to grow and refine our skills. This module focuses on how to give and receive feedback using Rubicas, and how to use those insights to get better at writing, speaking and presenting at work. The module focuses on how you get and receive feedback and how you use these insights to get better on writing, speaking and presenting yourself at work. It's very important. We can't come raw to our professional environment. We can't be raw. We can't be coming raw. As we are in the home, as we are with our parents, as we are with our outsiders, as we are with our friends, no. You have to carry a professional behavior once you are in a professional environment. You have to carry a professional communication behavior. You have to carry a professional speaking behavior. You have to carry a professional writing behavior. And above all, you have to carry a professional presenting behavior for yourself as well. Why feedback matters? It definitely matters because it gives you growth. Feedback is not a criticism. It's a point, it's a tool to grow. We take feedback as a negative thing. Oh my God, how dare he give me feedback? Is he in that category where he can write this to me? We have, mostly people never take it in a positive sense, in a positive manner. They always misunderstand it with the tool which is called criticism. No, feedback is a tool for growth. You can grow on those parameters which were not counted better in the first phase where you were talking. Great communicators actively seek feedback and use it to refine their messages. Yes, for sure, it's true. Those who want to become great communicators, they take the feedback in a positive manner. They refine themselves and they refine for growth, they refine for betterment. Structured Rubicas help make feedback objects and constructive rather than personal or vague. Structured Rubica helps make feedback objectives and constructives rather than personal or vague. Good feedback gives you good opportunities. It makes you better. It enhances you. It improvises you. It refines you. It gives you betterment. In all parameters, you can be productive. Understanding Rubicas. What is Rubica? A Rubica is a checklist or scoring guide that breaks down how to judge a communication task, email, report, speech or presentation based on specific criteria. Now, what is a Rubica? We have been talking about Rubica since the last 2-3 slides. What is Rubica? Rubica is a checklist. It's a scoring guide. What is that? breaks down how to judge a communication task. Email, report, speech, presentation based on specific criteria. How? Sample Rubika criteria. Clarity is one point, structure is the other, tone and voice is the third, delivery is the fourth, and confidence is the fifth. Clarity. Is your message easy to understand? Structure. Does your writing or speech have a clear beginning, middle, and end? Tone and voice. Is your tone appropriate, friendly, professional, and respectful? Delivery. Is your speech paced well with clear pronunciations? Confidence. Do you sound and appear confident? Clarity. Is your message easy to understand? This is very obvious. It is a Rubika. You need to be very clearly understanding that is your message which you are trying to convey clear to the persons whom you are trying to convey it. Structure. Does your writing or speech have a clear beginning, middle, and end? It's very important. You can't carry and strengthen one particular point in 100 words where you're just talking about one thing only and forgetting about the middle and the end. You have to be structuring your speech, introduction, middle, and end accordingly. It should be in 3 parameters. Tone and voice. Is your tone appropriate, friendly, professional, and respectful? It's very important in professional assignments, in professional areas where you need to understand your tone and voice, where you need to understand that are you friendly, are you sounding friendly, are you sounding professional, and at the same time are you sounding respectful. So delivery is your speech paced well with clear pronunciation. Deliver. How are you delivering your speech? Is it clear? Is the pronunciation clear? Do you have any problem in pronunciating things? No. It should be very, very, very clear. Confidence. Do you sound and appear confident? Are you confident? Are you hampering? Are you nervous? Are you feeling bad? Are you not able to open up your mouth? Are you not able to speak? Or are you not able to mix up words? Are you mixing up words? Are you not that sounding confident where you can talk on a particular topic? Are you confident about it? So Rubika, first of all, we need to understand is a scoring guide which helps you to judge your communication with the task, email, report, speech, and presentation based on specific criteria. Now, what are these criteria? These criteria are clarity on your message. Is your message understood? Second is the structure. Does your writing or speech have a clear beginning, middle, and end? I hope it is not a paragraph. It is bulleted. It is written properly. It has an introduction. It has the middle part. It has the end. It has the moral. Tone and voice. Is your tone appropriate, friendly, professional, and respectful? Is your delivery proper? Is your speech paced? Are you too fast? Are you too short? Are you too sound? Or are you okay? Is your pronunciation very clear? Is the other person whom you are delivering to clearly understanding your point of view? And confidence. Do you sound and appear confident? I hope you are not nervous. Nervousness is not telling upon you. You are confident enough. Practicing self-assessment. Now, what is practicing self-assessment? How to self-assess using a rubric. Now, in the previous class, we learned about rubric. Rubric is a tool which makes you grow, right? Now, how to self-assess yourself by rubric. Reread to replay your messages. You should always reread. You should not read once and move on. Maybe you're dropping on something. So, any mail, any voicemail, or any speech which you are typing, you should reread it again and again so that the message is clear, convenient, and understood by you. You can self-assess yourself like this. Second is go through each criteria and give yourself a score. Score yourself on each criteria. Check out on yourself. Are you sounding comfortable in listening to what you have done? If you are confident and responsive, then others will automatically understand it because it is suiting your parameter. Clear? Write one sentence for what you did well and one for what you can improve. Write one sentence on what you did perfect. Oh yes, yaar. I made a speech of 5 minutes and for the first 2 minutes I was excellent. But on the other 2 minutes I dropped down. I could have been better. So that area was to improve. So this parameter counts you on write one sentence where you were very good, where you assessed yourself very well, and the last 2 minutes where you could have been better, you could have done better. So this is the self-assessment Rubik formula. Reread your email, voicemail, speech, go through each criteria and give yourself a score. Write one sentence for what you did well and what for what you can improve. I have explained all the three parameters with examples. Now, example for this, clarity 4 by 5. My points were clear, but I used two long sentences. That could be shortened. Confidence 3 by 5. I hesitated a bit during the conclusion. This is the third one where I asked you to tell one sentence which was good and one which was bad. So your clarity was 4 on 5. Why? Your points were very clear, but your sentence was too long and lengthy. You could have made it a little short. And the other is confidence, where you rated yourself 3 on 5. Why? You hesitated a bit during the conclusion. When you were talking about the conclusion, you hesitated a bit. You were not sounding good. Okay? Okay. Giving peer feedback. Peer feedback should be kind, specific, actionable. If you are giving something, some record, some mail, some writing to your peer, that should be kind, specific and actionable. Be respectful and encouraging. Point to exact what you worked or didn't. Suggest how to improve. If somebody is giving you something for a peer feedback, first thing which you need to consider is, are you kind? Second thing which you need to understand is, are you specific? Third thing which you need to understand is it actionable? That means, are you kind? Are you being respectful and encouraging the person who has given you a data for the feedback? Are you specific? Is the point exactly working out for you or is it not working out for you? Thirdly, is it actionable? Suggest how to improve. If there is something which is lacking behind, how can he improve on that? Give a proper guidance in kind, specific and actionable matter where the person completely understands what he is getting as a peer feedback. Clear? Helpful formulas. One thing you did well, your structure was really strong. I followed your message easily. Helpful formula would be for him, one thing you did well. You can tell him that this was very, very well which you did. What? Your structure was really good. The way you structured your mail, your paragraph was really very good. I followed your message easily. मुझे बहुत आराम से आपका message समझ में आया. I didn't find any problem in understanding the message. One thing to improve is the tone was a bit too formal. Consider using friendlier phrases. दूसरी बात आप उसको ये बोल सकते हो, one thing is to improve, one thing you appreciated. What did you appreciate? You appreciated his structure. You said the structure was very good. I could understand your message very easily. I didn't have to put much effort into it. But the other thing you're saying that you need an improvement area is you could have been a bit formal considering your friendlier phrases. You could have put in more friendlier phrases and been a little bit formal. Explain peer review comment. Your email was clear and cautious, but the tone could be warmer. Instead of you must submit, try could you please submit. Your email was clear and cautious. That was the first point, but the tone could be warmer. Your tone was not good. Your tone could be more warmer. Instead, you must submit. Try could you please submit. Where you are writing, maybe you have written your tone is not warmer. Why? Because you wrote you must submit. It is ordering. You must submit is pronouncing an order, whereas could you please submit is pronouncing a request. It is warmer. It is not exactly a request, but it is more warmer than you must submit. So we need to understand these things when we are going for a peer feedback. Peer feedback should be kind, it should be specific, it should be actionable, it should not, one good thing should be there, one improvement area should be there, and the example we have self mentioned. Turning feedback into action. It is not enough to get feedback, you must act on it. Getting a feedback is not enough, you definitely need to act on the feedback. So review common feedback you get, tone too formal or pacing too fast. अगर आपको फीडबैक मिला है कि आपका टोन बहुत ज़्यादा फॉर्मल था या आपका पेस जो था वो बहुत ज़्यादा फास्ट था, तो आपको उस पर काम करके दोबारा से रीराइट करके उसको आपका पेस ठीक करना चाहिए और आपका टोन ठीक करना चाहिए. Choose one thing to improve next time. You should always choose one thing to improve next time. Update your drafts or rehearse again using the feedback as the guide. Once you get the feedback from your peer, the best thing to do is to rehearse it again, to put the parameters which he has counted you on the right track. If he has talked about your pace, you need to be a little slower. If he has talked about your tone, please be a little warm. Rehearse your feedback again and guide it yourself. Keep a feedback journal, write down comments you receive and your next step for improvement. This is definitely going to help if you are in regular basis of writing paragraphs, mails, or you are requiring feedbacks. Keep a journal with you, keep a diary with you where you maintain feedbacks whenever you get feedbacks for various jobs or various works, which will help you improve your areas of interest. Example, feedback, your tone was robotic. If you get a feedback your tone was robotic, matlab it was like in a robotic manner, can I do this for a time please. This was robotic. This should not have been like that. Action, practice speaking with more expression and smile with presenting. That means, can I do this better? Write down comments you receive. One thing to improve next time. This is not at all robotic. So feedback, if you're getting robotic, you have to understand that you have to practice speaking with expression and a smile while presentation. वैसे भी whenever anybody carries a smile in any presentation, in being communicable, in talking to friends, in talking to peers, in talking to managers, it's not laughing. There is a difference between smiling, laughing, and presenting yourself. Laughing is laughing loud or anything where you can't stop yourself by giggling, and smile is a small warm gesture to help the other person be more comfortable speaking to you while he is communicating. Clear? Real world simulations. Now let's pull it all together. Simulation: give learner a short task, write a reply to a customer, complaint a record and a 1-minute pitch, use the rubric to self-score, then swap with the peer for feedback. Pehla, we learned all this in our scheduled slides. Give learners a short task, give them task to write something, record something. Then self-assess yourself as per the rubric. Then swap your assessment with the peer assessment, ask him to give the feedback. Reflection question: what was your highest score? What one thing you will work on? What feedback surprised you? Maybe you will get that one feedback which will surprise you. You self-assessed yourself and you kept it aside and you gave your work. You gave your recording, 1-minute recording or your paragraph to your peer to judge you on various parameters. Now your questions are: what was your highest score? You scored yourself 4 out of 5 and 3 out of 5. What one thing you will work on? Will you work on the parameters where you have to speak, where you have to be warm, or will you work on the pitch, on the tone? What feedback surprised you most? Maybe there is something which your peer gives you which you didn't self-analyze yourself at. So taking that into consideration, you would be in a better position next time. Thank you.